Something has been discovered in the jungle that will leave you speechless. Amidst the shadows of our planet's dense tropical forests, scientists and explorers continue to find evidence and phenomena that defy our understanding. Get ready to learn about some of the most inexplicable discoveries ever made deep in the jungle. Curious? Join us, and let's go. Number 16. Sancreed Well. In the middle of a dense jungle, there is a well called St. Sancreed, which is like a mystical portal. Before, there was a church nearby, which already gives it that horror movie vibe. But the story gets even more bizarre. A British couple decided to visit the place and came face to face with a mysterious woman singing. She introduced herself as a healer and said she was asking the well for help to cure someone in the family. Normal, right? But when they checked, no one in the area knew this woman. It's one of those places that mixes religion, mystery, and a hint of better not mess with that. Like those stories your grandmother tells you, and you don't know if you believe them, but you don't doubt them either. Number 15. Man of the Hole. In 2022, a tragic story shook Brazil. The last survivor of an Amazonian tribe died alone in the forest. He was known as the Man in the Hole and carried with him terrible memories. He had seen his entire people massacred by farmers and miners years ago. The most revolting thing? This genocide went unpunished. This was a man who lived in the most primitive way possible, following ancient traditions. But the civilized world had no patience to respect his space. He spent decades digging holes to protect himself and avoiding contact with other humans. His death marks the end of an entire culture, of a language that no one will speak anymore, of knowledge about the forest that has been lost forever. It is as if an entire library had caught fire, except that this library was a person. Number 14. Humpback Whale. Imagine finding a humpback whale in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. It seems impossible, but it happened. The body of a young whale was discovered on an island in the Amazon River, miles inland from the continent. At first, no one could understand how such a gigantic marine animal had ended up so far from the ocean. After investigation, they discovered that the force of the currents and tides had literally dragged the animal's body into the forest during a period of very high water. The most surprising thing is that this is not an isolated case. The force of the Amazon waters is so enormous that there are other reports of sea creatures being found in unlikely places in the jungle, creating a veritable aquatic cemetery in the middle of the forest. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 13. The 4 survivors of the impossible. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, a story of survival defies all known odds. In 2023, 4 Colombian children faced the unthinkable after a plane crash killed their mother and the pilots. The eldest, just 13, guided her younger siblings through one of the deadliest environments on the planet for 40 days. The most surprising thing? These children didn't just survive. They demonstrated an ancient knowledge of the wilderness that left experts baffled. Using survival techniques passed down through generations, they were able to identify edible plants, build shelters, and avoid predators in an area where even seasoned adults wouldn't last a week. The details of their journey reveal an almost supernatural connection to the forest. The children followed waterways, identified safe fruits, and even managed to shelter themselves from the torrential rains typical of the region. When they were found, they were dehydrated and weak, but conscious and lucid, a feat that contradicts everything we know about child survival in hostile environments. Number 12. Pycnandra acuminata. In an isolated area of the Congolese jungle, there is a species of tree that defies everything we know about plant biology. It attracts and devours metal objects, incorporating them into its structure in an inexplicable way. Locals have always avoided the area, saying that the forest eats iron. Scientists have discovered that these trees have a unique chemical composition. Their tissues contain high concentrations of metals that should theoretically be toxic to any living being. Most surprisingly, the trees seem to use the metals to create a kind of primitive nervous system. Electronic equipment stops working near them, and metal objects are gradually pulled into their trunks. Number 11. The child the jungle gave back. In 2021, the whole of Australia held its breath for 4 days. A boy with autism had disappeared in the middle of the bush. Everyone was already imagining the worst, especially since the Australian nature is not known for being very friendly. But then comes the surreal part. They found the boy alive. He was all wet, covered in scratches and ant bites, but he was doing incredibly well for someone who had spent 4 days in the middle of nowhere. How did he survive? Where did he go? What did he eat? The most fascinating thing is that some children seem to have a sixth sense for surviving in nature. It's as if they connect with the forest in a way that we adults have forgotten how to do. Number 10. The fatal confrontation of the giant anacondas. Deep in the Brazilian jungle, a disturbing discovery defies the laws of nature. 2 giant anacondas were found dead in a scene that looks like something out of a horror movie. The most intriguing part? The snakes apparently died while trying to swallow the same prey, a large bird. The size of the snakes is even more impressive when compared to the current record. A 10-meter, 400-kilo anaconda found in the same region. The strangest thing is that these snakes, known for their territorial and solitary behavior, decided to fight over the same meal until a tragic end. Experts have been intrigued by several aspects of this case. Anacondas are known for their constriction hunting technique, and they do not normally share prey. In addition, they have a highly efficient jaw displacement system that allows them to swallow prey whole. The fact that 2 of them died simultaneously during a feeding attempt represents a behavior never before documented. Number 9. The soldier who didn't know the war was over. Deep in the jungles of Guam, an incredible story of dedication and isolation unfolded over 3 decades. A Japanese soldier remained in hiding for 30 years after the end of World War II, unaware that the conflict had ended. In the beginning, he was not alone. He was part of a group that had taken refuge in the forest after a battle with American forces. As time went by, his companions died one by one, until he found himself completely isolated, continuing his imaginary mission. When they finally found him, he was so weak that he could barely resist. He later wrote his memoirs, revealing an impressive journey of survival and loyalty taken to the extreme. His account shows how a sense of duty can keep someone alive in the most adverse conditions. Number 8. The giant web of nothing. During an expedition in the Guatemalan jungle, a team of biologists came across something impossible: a gigantic spider web, over 50 meters in diameter, suspended between the trees. The problem? There was no spider. The web had a complex design never seen before, with geometric patterns that do not match any known species. The material of the web is also unique, stronger than Kevlar, and with properties that make it invisible to certain wavelengths of light. Stranger still, the web appears to rebuild itself when damaged, even without any visible creatures present. Samples taken to the lab mysteriously disappeared before they could be analyzed. Number 7. Boiling river. In the heart of the Amazon, there is a phenomenon that defies all the laws of nature. A river that constantly boils. Known as La Bamba, it is the only known boiling river in the world, and no one can explain exactly why. The most intriguing part? There are no nearby volcanoes or visible geothermal vents to explain the high temperatures. Scientists suspect the heat comes from deep within the earth, but the exact mechanism remains a mystery. Locals have turned this anomaly into an ally, using the boiling water to cook food and wash clothes. It is yet another example of how forest communities take advantage of even the most bizarre features of the environment to survive. Number 6. The Sistine Chapel of Prehistory. In 2019, a discovery revolutionized our understanding of life in ancient South America. A rock wall in the Amazon revealed tens of thousands of cave paintings, creating a gallery of prehistoric art so impressive it was dubbed the Sistine Chapel of the Ancients. The most fascinating part? The paintings depict Ice Age animals we never knew existed in the region, such as mastodons and primitive horses. The paintings are dated to more than 12,000 years old, long before we thought human occupation of the area would have occurred. Among the paintings are thousands of handprints, like signatures left by the ancient artists. The site remained hidden for millennia due to its extremely remote location, perfectly preserving this archaeological treasure. The mystery deepens when we consider the advanced painting techniques used and the detailed knowledge of the local fauna that the artists demonstrated. Number 5. The Lost City of the Volcano. In early 2024, archaeologists made a discovery that rewrote the history of the Amazon. An ancient city, thousands of years old, emerged from the Ecuadorian jungle, revealing a level of urban development that was previously unheard of for the region. The most surprising thing? The city has a complex network of roads and canals that rivals modern engineering projects. Built near a volcano, Its inhabitants took advantage of the fertile volcanic soil to develop an advanced society in a time we would consider primitive. The remains found suggest that this civilization developed technologies and knowledge that have been lost to time. The strategic location near the volcano indicates a sophisticated understanding of agriculture and natural resource management. The mystery deepens when we consider that this may be just the tip of the iceberg. How many other ancient cities still lie dormant beneath the dense Amazonian vegetation? Number 4. Isolated Indian. In 2019, rare footage showed a member of the Awa tribe walking through the forest. It seems like a simple thing, but the video became a cry for help. The Awa are one of the most endangered peoples on the planet, and the forest is literally the last place they can hide. There's a silent war going on in the Amazon. On one side, illegal logging companies financed by bigwigs are destroying everything. On the other, tribes like the Awa, who have known every corner of the forest for generations. Other tribes in the region have even joined in to help, proving that the Awa really do live in the areas that these people want to destroy. It's a race against time. Every tree that's cut down means a piece of these people's territory disappears. And it's not just their homes that are at stake. It's an entire way of life that existed long before any big city appeared here. Number 3. Scallywag Bunker. Deep in the woods of Scotland, they discovered something that looks like something out of a spy movie. A World War II bunker with a funny name, Scallywag. But there was nothing funny about its purpose. It was the secret base of a special group, a kind of elite force that very few people knew existed. They were known as Churchill's Secret Army, and would be the last line of defense if the Nazis invaded the island. The coolest thing? These guys weren't just regular soldiers. They were experts in the area, knowing every rock and tree in the area. If the enemy ever arrived, they would use this knowledge to wage an unstoppable guerrilla war. The bunker was hidden for so long that even the people who lived nearby had no idea it existed. Number 2. The Mushroom of Death. There's something in the jungle that's so deadly that it even took down a Roman emperor, but it holds an incredible secret. The mushroom known as Death's Cap carries not just one, but several potent poisons. It's like a natural chemical arsenal that won't forgive anyone who tries it. But here comes the twist in this story. Scientists have discovered that this same killer mushroom harbors a substance that could revolutionize cancer treatment. It doesn't cure the disease, but it contains a compound that helps prevent cancer from returning after treatment. Can you believe it? The same thing that can kill you in a matter of hours can also save your life. It's further proof that nature is full of surprises, and that sometimes we need to look in the most unlikely places to find important cures. Number 1. Yucatan's spectacular cenotes. In the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, there is a mangrove forest that is like an episode from the Twilight Zone. Do you know why? It has been completely isolated from the sea for 125,000 years. And the craziest thing? It is still alive and well, as if it were mocking everything we know about mangroves. Scientists have been scratching their heads trying to figure out how this is possible. Mangroves need salt water to survive. Everyone knows that. But this forest has said, hold on to my coconut, and adapted to live completely in dry conditions. It's as if it were a living fossil, a memory of when the sea once reached there. The most incredible thing is that, while other forests are destroyed left and right, this one has remained untouched for all this time. It's like that ninja friend that no one can find in a game of hide and seek. I have a special invitation for you. Are you seeing this video that is appearing? I separated it especially for you. So, take advantage now and click to watch. Well, that's it. And until next time, Curious One.